What happens to the analysis part? In the analysis part, the technology components are decided. The technology components are decided. So the IT company will decide the technology. Should we build the technology by using Python? Or should we build the product using Java? Or should we build the product using .NET? The technology components will be decided. What should be the backend? Should we use Oracle as a backend? Should we use MongoDB? Or should we use SQL Server? What should be the backend part, the database? What should be the middleware? What should be the application server? Should we use WebLogic? Or should we use Tomcat? What should be or should we use JBoss? So the middleware components. So the technology components are decided. Once the requirements is understanding the requirements is done, they decide the technology on what technology the product should be built. What should be the front end technology? What should be the back end? What should be the middleware? So this happens in the analysis part. Once the analysis part has been completed, the next stage is the design stage. As you can see, the next part is the design stage. Now, what happens in the design stage? In the design stage, the entire project is divided into modules. The complete project is broken up into modules. Assuming in a banking client, the complete banking application is divided into modules. Savings account, one module. Corporate banking, one module. Credit cards, one module. Loans as one module. Customer care as one module. NRI banking is one module. Demat and trading account is one module. The complete project is divided into modules. Once the project is divided into modules, the data flow diagrams, the user interface, the user experience, the workflows is designed. How the front-end pages looks like. The entire design will be freezed. How will be the user interface? How will be the user experience? How the workflow happens. Workflow is nothing but when you click on the next, what screen should appear. This all happens in the design stage. In the design stage, we can experience the application on paper. You can experience the application in a document. You can visualize how the application looks like. This happens in the design stage. The project is divided into modules. For each and every module, the user interface, the user experience, the workflows, the data flows will be designed. So this happens in the design stage. Clear? Clear about this? Once the design is been completed, the next part is the coding part. Participants, the next part is the coding part. Here comes the role of a programmer or a developer. Here comes the role of a programmer or a developer. The programmers will jump into action. They take the documents from the design team. Even developers needs a supporting document to develop the application. They take the documents from the design team and they try to achieve the design. They make the design real. They develop the pages. They develop the user interface, the user experience. They design the database. They start developing the application. So this happens in the coding part. In the coding part, developers will jump into action. They take the documents from the design team. As per the document, they start developing the application. Obviously, this is the main role played in the coding part is the developer role. So developers will play a key role in developing the application. Clear? Once the coding has been completed, assume that the coding has been completed. The next part is the testing part. Once the coding has been completed, once the application development has been completed, do we deliver that application to the customer without testing? We test the application. Isn't it? Am I right? Once the application is developed, do we deliver it to the customer without testing? No, it's not possible. The testing team will jump into action. The testing team will jump into action. They test the application, whether it is application is perfectly working or not as per the requirements given. They take the requirements document on hand and they check whether the application is perfectly behaving as per the requirements. Is the application building the meeting the requirements of the customer? So testing team will jump into action. So once the testing has been completed, assume everything is good, assume everything is positive, assuming that the application is perfectly built, assuming a application is perfectly built as per the customer requirements, then we deliver to the customer, deliver the application to the customer will accept the application. This is step-by-step process, participants. This is step-by-step process. Are you understanding? This step-by-step process, this approach of building a particular product and delivering it to the customer is called as what model? This approach, what we have just learned, is called as a waterfall model. A step-by-step approach. First requirements and the analysis, design part, coding, testing, and delivery. Waterfall model is first of its kind. Waterfall model is first of its, the first software development life cycle is waterfall model. Waterfall model is successfully used 20 years back, not now. Waterfall model is suffering with some disadvantages. The waterfall model is suffering with some disadvantages. Even though it is widely used 20 years back, no doubt, but it is suffering with some disadvantages, because of which it is not used now. Because of which it is not used now. Let's try to understand the disadvantages on a high level. Let's try to understand the disadvantages of the waterfall model. So what's the main problem with the waterfall model? The waterfall model, there's a lot of dependency between one team to other team. One team will wait for the other team to complete their job. There's a dependency between one team to other team. One team will wait for the other team to complete their job. There's a lot of waiting time. Because of lot of waiting time, it is very, very difficult to meet the deadlines. The product development companies will give a commitment to the customer saying that we'll deliver the product in so and so date. Because of waterfall model, because of the dependency between one team to other team, because of waiting time, one resource will wait for the other resource to complete their job. One team will wait for the other team to complete their job. Because of dependency, it is very, very difficult to meet the deadlines. You may have questions. Sunil, can you explain the dependency? Yes. As you can see, testing team will start the testing only after coding has been completed. Are you understanding? Testing team will wait for the coding team to complete their work. Dependency. So waiting time. If coding team, if project manager given an estimate that they need 6 months of time to complete the coding part. Assuming the project manager has given an estimate that they need 6 months of time to complete the coding part, and we need, let's for example, 50 programmers. 50 programmers or developers. The number of resources required is 50 developers and the time required is 6 months to complete the coding part. So all the testing team will wait for the coding team to get completed. So how much time? Waiting time, 6 months. The testing team will wait for the coding team to get completed. Coding team will wait for the design team to complete their work. Assuming that the design team says that they need 2 months of time to provide the design documents to complete the design stage. Assuming the design team has mentioned that they need 2 months of time to complete the design team. So how many developers? 50 developers will wait for 2 months. It's a long duration. And number of resources are more. 50 resources. Company should pay for 50 resources just for waiting time. So one team will wait for the other team to complete their job. Testing team will wait for the coding team to get completed. Coding team, if they want to start coding, they wait for the design to get completed. Design will take analysis to get completed. Analysis will depend on requirements. Basing on the type of the project, the technology components are decided. So there's a lot of dependency between one team to other team participants. There is a lot of dependency between one team to other team. Because of a lot of dependency between one team to other team, it is very, very difficult to meet the deadlines. Am I right? Isn't it? So one of the main drawback of dependent of waterfall model is dependency between one team to other team, which is very, very difficult to meet the deadlines. That is the first disadvantage. There is a second disadvantage also. There is a second disadvantage also. In the waterfall model, as the name suggests, water falls from top to bottom. In the same way, in the waterfall model, there's no concept of going back and changing something which is already completed. Waterfall, there's no concept of going back and changing. What does that mean? For example, assuming the requirements stage has been completed on 1st January. Assuming requirements has been completed, requirements gathering has been completed on 1st January. Okay, once the requirements are freezed, then waterfall model continues to analysis part and then design part. Let's say after 1 month or 2 months, if the client comes again, changes the requirements, this waterfall model does not allow clients to give new requirements. Are you understanding? The waterfall model will always freeze one step before going to next step. There's no concept of changing something very important. Client gives the requirements and clients, because of the industry, because of the business requirements, the clients sometimes wants to change the requirements. But the waterfall model does not support clients to give new requirements. They freeze the requirements as per the freeze requirements, analysis, design, coding, testing, and as per the freeze requirements, the product they deliver the product. Customers are not entertained to give the new requirements. This model does not encourage the clients to give new requirements. That does not satisfy in the current industry. In the current era, the clients keeps on changing the requirements. Your software development model should be robust enough to accept the new requirements and deliver the new requirements along with the older requirements also. That should be flexibility that the current model should have. But the waterfall model does not support the clients to give new requirements. Okay, they freeze the requirements. There is no concept of going back and changing. Let's say in the coding part, there is no concept of changing the design. Once the design is completed, they will freeze the designs. They will not change the designs. So that's how it happens. Does not encourage the client. So these are the two important disadvantages because of which waterfall model is not widely used. First is very, very difficult to meet the deadlines because of dependency between one team to other team. The second disadvantage is the waterfall model does not encourage the clients to give the new requirements, not flexible enough with respect to the customer point of view. Clear? So these are the two main problems with the waterfall model. Have a look at it. The disadvantages of the waterfall model. It is very, very difficult to estimate the time and cost for each phase. It is very, very difficult to estimate the time because of the waiting time, because of its waiting time. Once the application is in testing stage, it is very difficult to go back and change something. There is no concept of going to the previous stage. We need to move forward. In a waterfall, water will not go back. We need water that always moves forward. In the same way, in this particular model, there is no concept of going back and changing something which is not thought in the concept stage. Okay, perfect. It is not good for complex and object-oriented projects. This is not suitable for projects where the requirements are at moderate and high risk of changing. Okay, if the projects are in a situation where the requirements are keeping on changing, definitely this waterfall model does not suit to those kind of products. So these are the disadvantages, participants. These are the disadvantages of the waterfall model. Because of these disadvantages, the waterfall model is not used right now. The most widely used model as of now in the industry is agile model. The most widely used industry model in the software development lifecycle is an agile model. Okay, so in this now let's try to understand what is agile model, how the products are built using agile model. How is it different from what we have understood about waterfall model? Am I right? We have understood about the waterfall model. Now let's try to understand agile model. What is agile model? How is it different from the waterfall model? Agile model is number one model as of now, the most widely used model as of now is agile model. Okay. Now let's try to understand what agile model says. How is it different? Look at this. Agile development model is also called as incremental model. Look at the terminology. Try to understand the terminology. It is called as an incremental model. The software is built in incremental and rapid cycles. Pick up the keywords in the concept. This incremental model results in small incremental releases, small releases. Each release is built on its previous functionality. Each release is thoroughly tested and ensure quality is maintained. Small releases, incremental model. Agile development method emphasizes on iterative, incremental, evolutionary. Pick up the keywords. Pick up the keywords and try to understand how is this agile model works. Agile model is called as an incremental. It's one type of incremental model where software is developed in incremental and rapid cycles. Small releases. Each release building on its previous functionality. It emphasizes on iterative, incremental, evolutionary. So this is what agile model says. Okay. So let's try to understand agile model more practically. Let's try. This is about the theory of agile model at high level. Let's try to understand how agile model, how agile model is different and how the approach of the agile model is different from the waterfall model. How is it different? Let's try to understand. Let's say this is the requirement of the client. Assuming the client is a banking client, like say ICICI Bank. So they need an internet banking application. So this is the requirement of the client. So client wants internet banking application so that the customers can log in and perform their banking operations. If this is the requirement from the client, what happens in the waterfall model? Okay. What happens in the waterfall? In the waterfall model, I'm giving a comparative analysis. I'm giving a comparative analysis. In the waterfall model, as you know, the first stage is the requirement stage. Not only in the waterfall model, every model, the first stage is the requirement stage. There'll be regular meeting between the client and the IT company. They take the requirements of personal banking. Got it? They take the requirements of personal banking. Once the personal banking requirements is done, they take the requirements of privileged banking. They take the requirements of wealth banking. They take the requirements of private banking. They take the requirements of NRI banking. They take the requirements of business banking, small and medium scale enterprises. They take the requirements from the corporates. So once they take the requirements of all the departments and then they declare saying that the requirement stage has been completed. Got it? This is what happens in the requirements. This is what happens in the requirements. They take the requirements of all the departments and then I'm talking about the waterfall model. And then the second stage is the design and the analysis part. The technology components are decided. That's not specific to the department. That's fine. The third stage is design stage. The third stage is the design stage. They design the personal banking department. They design the privileged banking module. They design the wealth banking module. They design the private banking. They design NRI business small. And once the entire design has been completed, then the stage declares saying that the design stage has been completed. After design stage, the coding team will jump into action. Developers will jump into action. They start coding for the personal banking module. They take the code, they develop the code for privileged banking. They take the code for wealth banking. Take the code for private banking and they take the code for all the modules. And then the stage saying that the Coding part has been completed. Testing team will jump into action. They test all the modules and then they're saying that the testing, and then they declare saying that the testing stage has been completed. And then they deliver the entire application at once. The entire application will be delivered at once to the customer. So this is what happens in the waterfall model. Stage by stage. First, they take all the requirements and then this declare saying that the requirements has been completed. They design all the document, all the departments, and then they say that the design has been completed. Coding, they code the all the department, all the modules, and then they declare saying that the coding has been completed. Testing team will test all the modules, and then they declare saying that the testing has been completed, and we deliver the entire application at once. This is the way approach followed in the waterfall model. Whereas in the agile model, it is completely different. The way the product is built or the way the product is delivered in the agile model is different. Look at the way agile model is different from other models. In the agile model, very, very important, please focus here. They take the requirements of personal banking. Okay, they take the requirements of the personal bank. Assuming the first module requirements gathering has been completed, the requirements team will go to the second module. So the requirements team is now busy with the second module. When the requirements team is busy with the second module, the design team, they don't wait. Design team has first module requirements gathering has been completed. The design team starts work designing on the module one. Are you understand? The design team is jumping into action. Previously, design team will used to wait for all the requirements of other gatherings to be completed. It's not the case now. In the agile model, they break the dependency. So if you look at now, the requirements team is busy taking the requirements of module 2, whereas the design team is busy designing the module 1. What happens in the next iteration? Assuming second module requirements has been completed, the requirements team will move on to module 3. Requirements team will move on to module 3. Assuming the design team has been done with designing module 1, the design team will move to second module. As designing of first module has been completed, coding will jump into action. The developers will jump into action. They start developing the code for one module. Are you understanding? So how many teams are in action now? The entire 3 teams are in action. The requirements team busy with taking the requirements of wealth banking. Design team is busy with designing the privilege banking. The coding team is busy working on first module. In the next iteration, what happens is, look at this. The requirements team busy with taking the requirements of module 4. The design team busy with designing module 3 because second module design has been completed. Coding team, if the first module coding has been completed, coding team will be busy coding for the second module. As first module coding has been completed, testing team will be testing the first module. So even the testing team is in busy now. Entire workforce is in action now. All the departments are busy building an application. In the next iteration, what happens? Requirements team busy with the NRI module, design team busy with the private banking, development team, as the second module has been completed, the development team will be busy developing the third module. Testing team will be busy testing the second module. And as the testing has been completed, assuming testing has been completed, we'll deliver the first module to the customer. Agile emphasizes an incremental model, incremental releases. Unlike waterfall model, we deliver the first module at once, at a time. We deliver the first module to the client. At least client is happy. They can experience how first module is like. They can experience, they can have a look and feel of the module 1. Are you understanding? So because of this entire workforce is in action, as in action, the entire workforce is in action, it is very, very easy to meet the deadlines. It is very, very easy to meet the deadlines. If the waterfall model, if the waterfall model takes, if the waterfall model takes 2 years of time to deliver the particular product, the same product with same quality, agile model can deliver it in less than 1 year. In such a faster rate, agile model can deliver the product to the customer. When the application development and delivering is faster, clients are happy because they're getting the application within the deadline, within the promised date. Software companies are also happy because they are meeting the client's requirements and they're delivering the process much more faster rate. It reduces the budget of the company also. And agile model will encourages the clients to give new requirements. Unlike waterfall model never encourages the clients to give they freeze the requirements. But the agile model will not never freeze the requirement. They will encourage the client to give the new requirements. Once the new requirements is gathered, this particular cycle is repeated for the new requirements. Along with the new requirements, we will include it with the old requirements and we will deliver it to the customer. So it is cost effective, time effective. It encourages the clients to give new requirements. Much more faster rate we can deliver the product to the customers. Because of these advantages, the complete IT industry is now moved to the agile model. Almost all the companies or all the applications are built by using agile model. So these are the advantages. I hope you have experienced how agile model is different from the waterfall model. Am I clear in explaining you? If yes, please type yes in the chat box. The chat is open now. My dear friends, on a high level, did you understand what is waterfall model and what is agile model? I hope you have understood the problem with the waterfall model. If yes, please type yes in the chat box. The chat is open now. I hope you have understood on a high level the problem with the waterfall model and how is it different. Agile model is different from agile waterfall model. I hope you are understanding the agile model will take the entire workforce in action. As you can see, the theory of the agile model, incremental, evolutionary, rapid cycles. Okay, so there's no hard and fast rule. Thank you for the responses. There's no hard and fast rule that the entire application should be delivered at once. No. So if we can deliver the application in incremental releases, the clients are happy, the IT companies also happy. So that's how the agile model is completely different. So the agile model encourages the clients to give unique requirements. Because of these advantages, the complete industry is now shifted to the agile model. Clear? Clear about this? Now the point is, you may have a question. Sunil, we are here to learn DevOps. You may have a question. We are here to learn DevOps. Now, why are we learning agile? Why are we understanding the waterfall model? Why are we learning about agile model? How is it related to DevOps? It's very, very important. It is very important for a DevOps professional to understand the basic idea on agile model. So the point here is, if a waterfall model, if a product development company uses waterfall model, it will take 2 years. The same product, we can deliver it in just 1 year in the agile model. Am I right? Now the industry is in such a way, clients are not even ready to wait for 1 year. Are you understanding? Clients are not ready to wait for more. Clients are not ready to wait for 1 year also. Clients are not ready to wait for 1 year also. Clients now, the industry is in such a way, the clients will give the requirements. Now they want the application to be delivered in just 5 months or less than that. In such a faster rate, clients are expecting their application to be built and delivered. Clients are not ready to wait for 1 year also. 1 year is a long time now. The clients are in such a way that they are giving the requirements now. They want the application to be delivered in just 4 months or 5 months at such a faster rate. Agile is faster when compared to waterfall model, no doubt. Agile is faster when compared to waterfall model, no doubt. But now clients are expecting at much, much more faster rate for the applications to be delivered. Clients are giving the requirements now and they want the application to be delivered maybe in this 4 months or 5 months at such a faster rate that Clients are expecting their applications to be built and delivered with the same quality, with the same quality. Am I right? So, so to achieve that kind of speed, to achieve such kind of speed, top 10 companies out of Fortune 500 companies, top 10 IT companies have done a research for work for 5 years. So they're waiting for five. They have done a research work for 5 years to understand the term called delay. Top IT companies have done a research work to understand the reason for the delay in the product development lifecycle, whether it is agile model or spiral model, whatever it is, whether it is waterfall model or agile model or some other model, irrespective of the model, they have done a research work to understand the reason for the delay in the product development. Once they have done a research work, then they came with a statement. They have now understood the problem statement. In spite of any model the product development company is following, the reason for the delay is, after doing a research work, this is what they have understood. The reason for the delay in the development process is the statement is about the gap between, there's a gap between development team and operations team. This is the reason for the delay in the software development lifecycle. I understand. The delay is because of the gaps between the development team and operations team. Now, for all of us to understand this particular problem statement, what do you mean by the gap between development team and operations team? If you want to understand this statement, you have to be very clear in understanding the development team. You have to understand what is development team. You have to also understand, you should also understand what is operations team. If you're clear in understanding these two terminologies, development team and operations team, then this problem statement will be very clear for us. Okay, so let's try to understand these two terms. Let's try to understand the development team. Let's try to understand the term called operations team. Let's start with development team. What do you mean by development team? Development team is nothing but a group of developers, as simple as that. As simple as that. If it is a Java project, group of Java developers is nothing but the development team. If it is a Python project, group of Python programmers are nothing but the development team. So development team is nothing but group of developers. They write the code and develop the application. So it's very, very easy to visualize what the development team does. Yes, you are right. We are very clear in understanding what is meant by development team. It is very important for us to understand what is operations team. It is very, very important for us to understand what you mean by operations team. Let's try to understand the term called operations team. Let's try to understand what do you mean by operations team. So what will be the responsibilities? What will be the day-to-day responsibilities of the operations team? Let's try to understand the term operations team. Okay. Now, assuming a small company, participants, assuming a small company of 100 employees. There are a lot of small companies also, right? So not only big companies, there are small IT companies also. Assuming a company of 100 employees. 100 billable employees which are busy for a particular project. If there are 100 employees in an IT company, do you think right from the first employee to the last employee, right from the first employee to last employee, do you think everybody is a developer? Got it? In a company of 100 employees, do you think everybody is a developer? All big IT giants like Infosys and TCS and Wipro, there are a lot of big companies. They're both saying that they have these many thousands of employees worldwide. Agree? Do you think everybody is a developer? I'm talking about billable resources who are directly involved in the project. Assuming the 100 people working for a particular project, do you think everybody is a developer? No, it's not the case. So don't be under impression that everyone who is recruited in the IT industry is a developer. Okay. On a high level, let's say out of 100 employees, 50 resources can be developers, could be developers. There are other set of people, there are other people who are not developers, participants. There are other set of people who are not developers, but they are very, very important. They are very, very critical in a particular project. There are set of people who are developers. They will develop the code, write the code, and develop the application. That's good. There are a group of people who are not developers, but they are very important. They are very critical. Without this non-development team, developers cannot progress not even a day. These set of people who are not important, sorry, who are not developers, but very important and very critical. They're also paid and they're also very, very important. These set of people who are not developers, but they are built by the clients comes under operations team. Okay. So you can, on a high level, you can divide the resources who are working for a particular client into two groups, development team and operations team. Okay. So there are a set of people who are not developers. They don't develop the code, but they are very, very important. So those set of people are called as operations team. You may have a question. Sunil, what is the roles and responsibilities of this operations team? Why they are important? Why they are critical? Developers, okay, they are important because they develop the code, but don't underestimate these set of people who are not developers, but still they are very critical. They're very, very critical. Now let's try to understand the roles and responsibilities of the other set of people that is called as an operations team. If you're clear in understanding operations team, then we can clearly understand the particular problem statement. Now let's try to understand the roles and responsibilities of our operations team. Look at this. What are the responsibilities of operations team? Installation of server hardware and maintaining operating system. Who it is for every client, they have to maintain development servers, QA servers, production servers. It is whose responsibility to maintain the server environments. Do you think the developers will do it? Do you think Java developers or Python developers will maintain the servers, the development servers? No. You have the skilled resources. You need a skilled resources to maintain these servers. So they comes under operations team, configuring the servers, configuring the networks, configuring the storage, monitoring the servers 24/7 to making sure that the server performance is good, applying the patches, performing cloning. Who will be doing it? Developers will not do it. Responding to the outages in case if the server is down, who will be responding? Operations team should respond. They'll be in pressure continuously to make sure that the servers are not down. IT security, cyber security is now a challenge. It is whose responsibility to provide security to that particular cloud infrastructure or the on-premises infrastructure. It is the operations team, version controlling, backup and disaster recovery planning, and production support. So you need a skilled group of people to perform all these backend activities. These set of people who are who do not do coding, but they're very, very important in building an application and delivering it to the customer. These set of people are called as non-development team is now named as operations team. The database administrators, network administrators, cyber security administrators, production support engineers, SAN developers, virtualization experts, infra team. Are you understanding? So these set of people comes under operations team. Now the delay is now coming back to the problem statement. The delay is happening because of the misunderstandings or gap between the development team and operations team. The gap between development and operations team. Okay. Now I'll give a simple example. What do you mean by? I'll give one example of what do you mean by gap between development team and operations. Let's, for example, Development team is working with building an application where the front end is Java and back end is Oracle database. Now, development team is working with this particular application where the front end technology is Java, the back end is Oracle. Now, the development team wants to change the back end technology from Oracle to Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so we can use Microsoft SQL Server for the Java technology also. Now they want to experience how the application is behaving. Is there any improvement in the performance, or they want to experience how exactly the application behaves if they use SQL Server as database instead of Oracle. Now it is whose responsibility to provide SQL Server database environment. Database server, it is whose responsibility. Do you think that Java developers will create the SQL Server environment? Please tell me. It is database administrator, SQL DBA. The development team will send a mail to the operations team saying that we need so and so version of SQL instance, SQL Server instance. Could you please provide me so that we will work on this particular environment? So the development team will mail an infrastructure requirements to the operations team. Now, in the operations team, there will be a database administrators who will be installing the SQL Server on one server, SQL Server deep database in one particular server and provide the login credentials. This is what happens, isn't it? Now, the delay happens because assuming that the skilled resource is not available. If the resource is on leave for a period of 1 week, now what's happening? The development team will wait for the SQL Server instance. So this is waiting time, which is causing the delay. Either the skilled resources are not available or the infrastructure is not available. This is becoming a big problem nowadays because of on demand, because of more demand with respect to infrastructure. Maybe if the entire infrastructure is full, if the infrastructure, if the servers are full, how can the operations team provide the environments? Okay, they need to give the notice time. Either the skilled resources are not available or the infrastructure is not available or could be any other reason which is causing the delay. So there are a lot of reasons for the delay with respect to communication and coordination between the development team and the operations team, which is causing the delay and, and difficulty to meet the deadlines in the current industry. To overcome this particular gap between development team and the operations team, there is a new team now evolved called as the DevOps team. If you can see the next slide. Traditionally, there are only two teams in the industry, IT industry. One is development team, the other one is the operations team, as I have just mentioned. To speed up the software development lifecycle, now there's one more team called as the DevOps team. The term DevOps is, is derived from two words, development and operations. The term DevOps is derived from two important terms. One is development and operations, development team and operations team. Now, what is the now? I hope you understood the role of a DevOps engineer. So, what is DevOps and its importance? DevOps is a method. It's not a technology. It's a method. That particular method promotes collaboration between development team and operations team. It improves the coordination. It will remove the gap so that everybody will be in sync with each other. So DevOps is a method, and that method can be implemented by using tools. DevOps is a concept. That concept is implemented by using tools. Got it? So DevOps is a method. So if you follow that methodology, so which will improve the coordination and collaboration between development team and the operations team, this allows deployment of code into production much more faster and automation way. So this coordination collaboration, when it is improved, you can deliver the products in much more faster approach, and you can automate the software development lifecycle. As you know, nowadays automation is a lot of having importance. So without any human intervention, you can move the application to production. You can move the changes to the production at much more faster approach, which enables in rapid development of products. That's what we want. Everybody, all the client wants applications to be delivered at much more faster rate, and DevOps helps to achieve it. Got it? DevOps and its importance. And how DevOps will improve the coordination between the development team and the operations team, and that practically happens by using the DevOps tools. Okay, so that collaboration happens And that speed up will happen by using the DevOps tools. Now, I'm listing out the tools what we are learning in our course. The prerequisite, we start with Linux. Every DevOps professional should be good in Linux commands because all the DevOps tools, it could be Jenkins or Docker, or it could be Ansible. All the DevOps tools are managed using Linux commands. So we should all be good in Linux commands. So we will be spending basics of which we have to be very strong in basics of Linux. First 3 to 4 sessions we'll spend on Linux. And then we move on to the first tool of DevOps that is called as Git, which is called as source code management tool and version controlling tool. And then move on to Maven, that is called as a build tool. And then we move to Jenkins, that is called as CI/CD, which is the main tool for automation. We learn how exactly we can implement automation in software development lifecycle so that we can speed up the changes to the production. Docker containerization infrastructure requirements. If the skilled resource is not available to provide the infrastructure as a DevOps team, you can provide the infrastructure by using Docker. Are you understanding? If the development team needs a Tomcat environment, if the middleware engineer is not available as a DevOps team, you can provide the Tomcat environment. You don't need to learn Tomcat. By using Docker, we can provide the required infrastructure. So you're filling the gap between the development team and the operations team. That's how you can use it by using Docker and Docker Swarm. Kubernetes, which is all about container orchestration, very important. Ansible configuration management, where you can, which saves a lot of time when the volumes of infrastructure is very high. And the Nagios is a monitoring tool. Terraform is infrastructure provisioning tool. We'll give you an understanding about Terraform. So this is how, these are the list of tools which are covered in our course. Got it? So these are the topics which are covered in our DevOps course. We start with Linux and then we cover all the important tools in the DevOps. As started today, the session starts at 6 a.m. and it will be approximately 1 hour time. It will be up to 7 a.m. daily 1 hour. Every session is recorded. Every session is recorded and you will have login to our website. You have to log into our website and you can play the recordings. You can refer the recordings. And it will be only 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. There are no sessions on Saturday and Sunday. Clear? Clear about this? So we have started understanding the waterfall model. We have understood on a high level what is waterfall model, problem with the waterfall model. We have understood the importance of agile model. You know now understand what is development team and operations team, and you have an understanding about how DevOps, what is DevOps? It's all about improving coordination between the two teams to speed up the software development lifecycle. Am I right? Am I clear? Yes. And how it improves, how DevOps professionals will do that. You will understand once we implement the tools, you will understand the importance of each and every tool and how it helps in coordination. Once we get into practicals of those tools, you can clearly understand it. Okay. Now it's time for the questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. I can see few hands raising. Let's start with Mr. Sharath. Sharath, good morning. How are you? You're from which location? Your experience and then your question.
Good morning, sir. This is Sharath, and I'm from Hyderabad location. And
Okay.
currently, I'm having around 7 years of experience. Where
Mhm.
currently I'm working with currently working as an application support.
Okay. Production support.
Yeah, production support, sir.
Okay. Good.
Production and actually, I had an uh, doubt like, do we require only DevOps or we required cloud with the DevOps like AWS with DevOps also?
Good question. Okay. Good question. Okay. Now, very, very important. We are learning, if you can see the today's slide, participants, if you look at the title, what I have mentioned is DevOps on AWS. Okay. So what we are learning is DevOps on AWS. Okay. The same DevOps tools, we can learn it on Microsoft Azure also. Okay. The same DevOps tools, we can learn it on Google Cloud Platform also. Are you understanding? So the DevOps is all those tools, Jenkins, Ansible. So whatever it is, whatever we are learning, we can learn it on AWS, we can learn it on Azure, when you can learn it on GCP. Okay. So but coming to our course, so we are learning DevOps on AWS platform. We are not learning on Azure. We are not learning on Google Cloud. We are learning on AWS platform. So all these tools like Ansible, Kubernetes, everything, we'll be installing it on AWS, and then we'll be learning DevOps on this AWS platform. Okay. Now, if you are zero in AWS, some of the participants you may be completely zero with AWS. Okay. So for you, I will explain you AWS. To learn DevOps, to learn DevOps, 10% of AWS is knowledge is required to understand DevOps. So whatever we are doing practically, 10% knowledge of AWS is required. That 10% of required concepts of AWS, I will cover in this particular course. Okay, so what are the knowledge required from AWS point of view? The 10% of knowledge, what is required from the AWS point of view, I'll teach in these particular sessions as and when required. Okay, so even though you are zero in AWS, participants, if you're zero in AWS, no problem. As I am covering 10% of AWS, you'll understand each and every example, any dependency on AWS, I'll explain that particular AWS concept and then I'll move on so that it will be very clear for you. So the 10% of AWS is covered in this particular course. But after learning this particular course, my recommendation, what is my recommendation to you after learning DevOps? I also want to strongly learn exclusively a course called as AWS. There is an exclusive course for AWS where only AWS platform is covered. That is my recommendation. I want you to learn underlining cloud platform AWS also, maybe after DevOps, or if you have time parallel to the DevOps, you can also learn AWS also. That is my recommendation. But coming to this particular course, this particular batch, if you're zero in DevOps, sorry, if you're zero in AWS, not a problem. I will cover the basics of AWS, which is required from the DevOps point of view. Clear, Sharath? Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, and one more thing, sorry to ask you once again.
Yes.
Uh, uh, where I don't have any kind of knowledge on DevOps as well because I'm a
DevOps, you don't need to have any knowledge because DevOps, I start from the scratch.
okay, sir. Do
Okay.
we require any kind of programming knowledge on these ones, sir? Because
Not
I don't
required.
have programming
There is
knowledge as.
no there is no programming involved in DevOps. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
It's all about understanding the tools and implementing the tools. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Anurag. How are you doing? Your location, your experience, please.
Hi, Sunil. Good morning. I'm Anurag and I'm from Gurgaon. And currently, I'm working as a Oracle Database Administrator, Cloud DBA.
Oh, you're working Oracle on premises or you're working Oracle on cloud?
I'm working on both. So I have experience on AWS, RDS, Aurora.
Oh, so you have experience in relational database service and all those.
Yes, 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 yes. So mainly like I'm working as a Cloud DBA migration architect like that.
Very good.
So yeah, so I help to client to provide the solutions to migrate from on-premise to cloud. So mainly like main technology is Oracle with AWS and Azure also I know about, but only the database.
Okay. Only
Yeah,
specific to database
it's
service.
specific to database. Yeah. So I have a question regarding the next move because I am thinking like I can go for data engineering or AWS architect. So I need your suggestions and guidance where I need to like because DevOps is something also I attended this. So can you help me like where which path will be good for me if
Uh,
I wanted
I
to?
recommend you to go for AWS Solutions Architect. Okay.
Mhm.
Because as of now, you're limited to only services related to database, that is RDS and all those. Am I right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
But if you want to upskill yourself with respect to the upcoming changes, you have to have a complete exposure towards other services used by the IT companies along with database. Are you understanding, Anurag? Okay, so I
Mhm.
strongly recommend you to go for AWS Solutions Architect. Okay, even DevOps will add value to your resume, and so that you can easily switch your current platform to cloud and DevOps engineer. That is my recommendation.
Uh, so in actually, I also went through this course and everything for AWS Architect, but I don't have that kind of experience with the application, like whole landscape, like how the way networking and balancers and how to architect the complete landscape, like landing zone and those. So I don't have that kind of
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, there are a couple of folks also work. I'm also working with AWS Architect.
Mm-hmm.
So they were
In your current
suggesting,
organization?
yes, in current organization.
Okay.
So I'm with IBM.
Okay.
Yeah. So the point is,
What are they suggesting?
so they are saying like you can go for data engineering because data engineering will be helpful because you already on the database. So that is the dilemma, like that. Like even
Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
attended one of the course as well for data engineering as well, and they are also suggesting like yes, data engineering will good. So
It's up to you, Anurag. You can select any path. You can, because you are from the database, so you even database data engineering is also good. But shall I tell you, like
Mhm.
having exposure, do you have you already learned AWS?
AWS, I have like AWS Architect Associate certification I was
Okay.
completed. So I
Okay.
even I also completed AWS Database Facility. If you know that
Mm-hmm.
one earlier, now they have changed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have done these two
Okay.
certification, and
So
it was
once,
done by good
uh,
one, I guess. Yeah.
okay, okay. So once you start getting hands-on, then only you will understand how exactly the services helps in maintaining the infrastructure, Anurag. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's up to you. So I learn DevOps. These skills are also important. Okay. It's always an advantage. Your skills will never go wrong because you, on a high level, you fall under operations team. Okay. So add these skill
Mhm.
sets, and it's up to you. You have to take the direction, move forward. Both are good. Even data engineer is also good. Okay.
And like in AWS Architect, we need to know this Terraform and other things as well, like
Yes,
Ansible,
you are right.
Docker,
And very important
Kubernetes.
because, for example, Anurag, let's say you know about EC2 instances, like okay.
Right,
Let's say, for
right.
example, if the client is having 100 EC2 machines, okay,
Mhm.
in all the 100 machines, some patch needs to be applied or some commands needs to be executed in all the 100 machines, Anurag, okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Connecting to each machine and repeating the same activity, do you think it is the right
No,
approach? No,
it is
isn't it?
not
So you
feasible.
have to depend on these kind of tools like Ansible. So this is always a advantage, okay? Having exposure towards these skill sets. Okay.
Mhm. And one more thing, like I have around 13 plus of years of experience. So how I
Mm-hmm.
can, if let's say it's okay, how I can approach to market myself, like because they
So
expecting too much on this level, right?
see, we also have completed 4 projects. Okay, so those projects are available in our YouTube channel. In next month, in July, we are also inviting a guest lecture from the industry. So we are planning for a 5th project. So these kind of projects we help in providing you sample resumes. According to those sample resumes, with your understanding, you can build your resume, and by completing those projects, you'll be confident enough to attend the interviews, Anurag. Okay, that's the advantage.
And one more last question. So coming on the programming, so if you know, like as a DBA, we haven't much done on the programming side. Even I also did not have much programming things. So that one part also. So in AWS Architect, do we really need the programming skills? Like if I going for architect, like AWS Architect opportunities, cloud
No,
architects.
not required.
But in data engineering, it does because
Yes,
Python and PySpark and those things are,
correct.
yeah.
For data engineering, you have to have understanding on Python, but Python is also easy, Anurag. Don't be afraid. Okay, it is very simple. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you, Anurag. Yeah. Good morning, Vasu.
Hi, Sunil. Good morning.
Yes, your location and
Yeah,
experience, please.
Yeah, I have 10 years of experience as a Linux, as well as currently I'm working on even AWS Cloud.
Very good.
I, I have attended your batch on like batch number 234. I would like to know what exactly the improvements, and that means extra skills that I am able to get if I join this batch. Is there, except Nagios, is there any advanced skills teaching
I
or
think Kubernetes was not there on that particular batch, am I right?
no? On that batch, we can see Kubernetes architecture around 4 classes.
Okay, okay, okay. I'll mail you, Vasu, the course contents. Okay, you can have a comparative analysis. Okay. But there is no meaning in repeating because you already have completed that particular course. Okay. So there is
Yeah.
no much changes as of now. Okay.
Okay, so we apart from this, I would like to know, is there any advanced topics like the main
We have
my
we
major
have an
focus is
we have an exclusive Kubernetes course for 30 days. Okay, a
okay.
different batch. Okay. So please wait for it so that will be more in-depth analysis. Okay.
Yeah, why? Because
Because you already have
currently,
completed DevOps, right? Exclusive Kubernetes for approximately 30 days. Okay,
yeah,
so you can see the website, you can search for Kubernetes. If you want, you can buy the recorded sessions also. That will be always an advantage rather than repeating the same batch again. Okay, Vasu?
sure, Sunil. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Why?
you.
Because even I am most of the industries depends on currently on OCP, right? That's the reason why.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Anil. How
Can
are
you hear
you?
me?
Yes, I
Good.
can.
Actually, I work for 4 years. I have 4 years of experience on Spring Boot and AWS. So I have
Very good.
experience. I have certification on AWS like Solution Architect Associate and
Very
Professional.
good. Very good.
So this course will provide me very
Obviously help you because we are not learning AWS here, Anil. I hope you have understood, isn't it? We are learning DevOps on top of AWS. Am I right?
yes,
Okay. Having both these skill sets will have your resume more in demand rather than only because a lot of, as you can see, many are learning AWS. Am I right, Anil? There are a lot of
yes,
resources, there are a lot of resumes
yes,
if you search for an AWS professional. Okay.
yeah.
So nowadays AWS is something very common, or AWS or Azure is something common. Okay. So to add more skill sets, the DevOps on top of AWS is always adds value to your resume. So you are in the right track, Anil. Okay.
Okay. And one more thing is like I'm working as an SD as of now, software developer. So
No
is
problem.
it necessary skill for and learning DevOps for a software developer?
Repeat your question.
I'm working as software developer as of now. Like I'm working on
Okay.
Spring Boot. So I'm working on SD
If
roles.
you do you want to continue with the development track, okay, then go for development track. If you want to switch to DevOps, then this is the right course. Okay.
Okay.
Sri Kala. Sri Kala. You are now allowed to unmute. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I'm not an employee, sir. I'm just a student. Now I'm a fourth year.
Okay.
Sir, it is important to learn DevOps as a fresher.
Is very good. Even freshers can learn DevOps, no problem, because if you are not interested in the development side, Srikala, if you do not love development, if you're not interested in coding, then the best thing what you can do is to learn AWS and learn DevOps. Okay,
Okay, sir.
because
I already,
in the campus placements, okay, so you because if you're not interested in coding, then you can project these skills. That will be very impressive. Okay, learn both
okay, sir.
AWS as well as DevOps. Yes,
Sir, I already learned the AWS course, sir.
okay,
And
then learn
DevOps
DevOps.
also, I learned a little bit about DevOps, sir. Now
Okay.
I want to learn in depth, sir.
You are right. You are in the right track. Please continue. It's good for develop freshers also. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
One final call. Asia Coffee.
Yeah, hi Sunil, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my question is, yeah, in this course, you are going to show the scenarios of the basic or any kind of real-time scenarios also you can. you're going to show means?
We will be covering from basics to medium level. Okay.
Means it will be helpful in the real time, means we can
Yes,
able to
so
do.
you will be able to answer the interviews, clear the interviews also. There are a lot of success stories. After learning, completing our batch, perfectly practicing, there are a lot of success stories who have successfully made the place get into the DevOps role. Okay, and as I told you, we are planning for one project also. Okay, so those projects also, if you can project it in your resume, that will be adding value to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed the session. So this is our first session. So our plan for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll join using the same link, like how you have joined. The same link will be active for the next 3 to 4 days. So tomorrow's plan, as I told you, before getting into the first tool of DevOps is Git. But before getting into Git, we should all be good at Linux environment. Okay, so let's spend some time learning Linux or plan for tomorrow. So tomorrow, we will learn how to create an AWS account, and we will be creating a Linux environment on AWS, and we get started with Linux commands. That's our plan for tomorrow session. Stay tuned for tomorrow using the same link. There's a WhatsApp group. I hope you already have joined the WhatsApp group of this particular. There's exclusive WhatsApp group which is created for this particular batch. Okay, if you are not in the WhatsApp community, so please join the WhatsApp community using the link which I'm just posting in the chat box. I've just posted the WhatsApp community link in the chat now. Please join this WhatsApp community to get the updates about this. This is a group created exclusively for this particular batch. Okay, this is batch number 420. Okay, so please join this particular WhatsApp community to get the updates about this particular batch. Okay, and you can get the same link from our website logiclabstack.com. I hope you have enjoyed the session. See you tomorrow where we'll get started with Linux. Have a good time. Thank you very much.